John Galton's peace formula is a tool that may assist in mapping conflict and work towards transforming that conflict away from violence and towards peace. The formula states that peace equals equity times harmony divided by trauma times conflict. Understanding this formula and how it may be used to transform conflicts is complex, and it is vital to first examine the concepts used by Galton in the following way. Equity means the state of cooperation between parties of the conflict. What is their pattern of interaction, and how do they behave towards one another? This means if the pattern of interaction tends to be abusive or exploitative, then it is necessary to work towards making it more equitable through encouraging cooperation for mutual and equal benefits. Harmony means the level of reciprocity in the relationship between parties and the emotional resonance and empathy. When there is disharmony, it is observed that an unbalanced relationship takes place. Here, it is necessary to restore respect between the parties involved and to foster empathy for one another, and as such, attempting to restore harmony. To address trauma, it is necessary to discover from the parties involved what traumas they have experienced. This may be historical events or recent events. These traumas must be assessed and distinguished between being repressed or active, and to what extent the party involved is re-traumatized. Through this understanding of trauma, the tools of reconciliation may be used in addressing and healing that trauma. It is also vital to comprehend the conflict between the parties involved, so creative solutions for the contradictions in the social systems in which the parties are located are resolved. This is best achieved through mediation and conflict transformation. Relaying this back to the formula, it may be concluded that it is necessary to maximize the numerator while minimizing the denominator so peace may be achieved. When equity and harmony outweigh trauma and conflict, peace is achieved. On the reverse side, when Galton's formula becomes bottom-heavy, conflict and violence is observed.
Positive peace has, I think, two basic components. One is equity, or to spell it out, cooperation for mutual and equal benefit. Please underline the two words "and equal." You see, the West has nothing against cooperation for mutual benefit. It's called capitalism. But it's not exactly equal. And the tragedy of the West is it always wants an edge extra. That little 120% extra, or 2,400 or what it is. And the second component is harmony. It's attitudinal, it's inside you. And it means that you suffer the suffering of others. You suffer when millions die of hunger and people kill each other. And you enjoy the joy of others. So if we go by equity and harmony, it's not a bad formula for a good marriage. Not a bad formula. But then comes the negative part. There are two things threatening all of this: trauma and conflict, unresolved conflict. The trauma, that's the violence of the past. And the way to handle that one is reconciliation.
The Seville Statement on Violence is a statement on violence that was adopted by an international meeting of scientists, convened by the Spanish National Commission for UNESCO in Seville, Spain, on the 16th of May 1986. It was subsequently adopted by UNESCO at the 25th session of the General Conference on 16th of November 1989. The statement, then known as a Statement on Violence, was designed to refute the notion that organized human violence is biologically determined. The basic idea of human rights is that each one of us, no matter who we are or where we are born, is entitled to the same basic rights and freedoms. That may sound straightforward enough, but it gets incredibly complicated as soon as anyone tries to put the idea into practice. What exactly are the basic human rights? Who gets to pick them? Who enforces them, and how? every individual shall have the duty to respect and consider his fellow beings without discrimination, and to maintain relations aimed at promoting, safeguarding, and reinforcing mutual respect and tolerance. The line that forms an arc from left to right across the diagram portrays the course of a conflict as it rises and falls in intensity over time. Its smoothly curving bell shape is oversimplified to characterize an ideal type life history. As suggested by the arrows that deviate from the line, the course of actual conflicts can exhibit many different long and short life history trajectories, thresholds, reversals, and durations. Even conflicts that have abated can re-escalate it. Nonetheless, the model has heuristic value in allowing us to make certain useful distinctions among the conflict management interventions that relate to different levels of intensity. The column on the left describes relations between parties to the dispute and is divided into various phases of peace or conflict: durable peace, stable peace, unstable peace, crisis, and war, with lower intensity phases characterized by what Lund calls interactive, mutually accommodative behavior, such as debates and negotiations, and higher intensity phases characterized by unilateral, coercive behavior, such as ultimatums, sanctions, and physical force.
Very rarely do I see things which I think are balanced. The media, unfortunately, I think in many instances has got sucked into this notion of it's all about a war against terror.
Most of the voices that dominate coverage are usually the military officials or the rebel officials.
Peace journalism is a way of counteracting this. Above all, telling the positive stories.
In 2000, the United Nations Security Council formally acknowledged through the creation of Resolution 1325 the changing nature of warfare, in which civilians are increasingly targeted and women continue to be excluded from participation in peace processes. United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 addresses not only the inordinate impact of war on women, but also the pivotal role women should and do play in conflict management, conflict resolution, and sustainable peace. The ecology of peace. The importance of relationships between people and nature. This outlines the link between peace and the environment through biodiversity. It also outlines the environment as a context for peace and the pathways for peace.
Peace is when this heart is filled with a gratitude for what you have been given without wanting more. Peace is when you understand the value of this blessing called the breath that you have been given. Peace is that one beautiful lifetime every single day. So I haven't defined it, but I've told you what I feel peace is. It's a smile, it's a tear, it's a feeling. And when you know it, there is no mistaking it.